I'm Amy Schumacher. I'm a pediatrician at South Central Foundation for 20 years. And I'm co-director of the residency with a fabulous team. You'll learn maybe just through virtual interactions with us that we've all got some great strengths. So Amanda is our innovator, and Christine has amazing patience. So Lillian's recently joined us, and that's fabulous because she's got the perspective of being a resident and now a faculty, and she's a systems thinker and passion about education and learning. We've got amazing site directors who all bring their own perspective and know their communities and connect well to the other pediatricians, but then other disciplines in their towns. And that's been a huge benefit too. I grew up in Wisconsin, a small town called Whitewater on a farm, and my parents are teachers, and I have 3 older brothers. I went from there to Lawrence University, a pretty small liberal arts school, and then did my med school and residency in Madison, partly because I knew we'd be going somewhere where there's an Air Force base after. So it was 20 years ago, came to Alaska. My husband's an orthopedic surgeon, and he was on base, and we had a 3-year tour that turned into now 20 years, which is pretty common for a lot of Alaskans, right? So I started at South Central Foundation. I knew I wanted to work in Indian health because I'd done some time on the Navajo reservation, and started out as a hospitalist because that was a job that was open, and eventually went into primary care, which was my true love. And then evolved into part-time work, which lent itself to working with our families from the villages and consults and kind of a mixture of hospital follow-ups that I think the residents will explain to you. But I really love that because you form a deep relationship in a really short time because most of those families are going through some tough times. So super excited when the Alaska track started to evolve to get involved with that, because I think we have a perfect setting for learning and intense relationships, like I said, with families, and that complements really well with some of the other sites. My favorite flavor of ice cream is chocolate. Sorry, I had to do that. I'm going to use up all your film. My favorite thing about being in the Alaska track is working with my core team, and then I love adult learners, and the one-on-one time with residents in clinic and seeing them connect to families is really special. You hear the story about people who came here for 2 or 3 years and then planned to move. I figured out at some point that wouldn't be a good move for my health, because I don't know any other place that would draw me outside as much. So I love to run and hike in the mountains and camp, fish, and then our family's pretty passionate about cross-country skiing. So those are all fun things to explore with the residents and team as well. We knew we'd do a pretty good job attracting people to come back and work and live in our communities. And I'd say we surpassed that in not just filling some tough to fill spots in Alaska, but in other rural sites in the WAMI region. So we've been really proud about that. We're proud of our residents no matter where they end up, but it is pretty special when they're connecting back to our families for long term.